Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and especially to my divine masculine in the collective of all zodiac sign and my divine feminine, guys. I've got your reading with me on this table today, and this reading will be an energy check for the divine masculine after the blue moon on the 31st of October. But the time period I've taken is from the 5th of November until the 15th of November 2020. Okay, we'll see the energy of the divine masculine within this time frame, whatever is happening with him, what is going on, and we'll know what is going on. But there is definitely a shift after the blue moon, and this shift has been going on for quite some time. But what I'm getting, ladies and gentlemen, is for the divine masculine. This energy shift is really now coming into focus. It's catching up with him at this point in time. Very much so. Okay. Now we'll start with the reading, guys. And we'll see what is going on because I have not channeled the energies. I'll channel the energies with you real time. I've got the cards on the table, but really I haven't channeled the energy until I switch on the camera in here. Okay. Now, having said this, the first astrological, see, this is the time I've asked for the astrological part of the story. And what the collective divine masculine is getting is card number 46, again breaks down to 10, or grand trine and a blessings. Now, this card in the astrological format, guys, it talks about temperance, okay? It talks about a lot of balance, it talks about temperance in the astrological part of the story for the divine masculine. Bringing in a lot of harmony, completion, as I said, card number breaks down to 10, completion, being in a good place, easy flowing energy, a lot of opportunities that can come up, and some amount of course, balance and contentment that is seeping back into his life, in the divine masculine's life. Okay. Now, this card also talks about the time that he is entering. That's where the shift has happened. He is entering into a time of easy flow, where many of the impediments that he had been facing or experiencing are slowly being lifted out of the place. Okay, bringing in a period of harmony and ease that will inspire him to take the path which is where least resistance or less resistance will be there, you know. So that is this is the time, this is the shift that is occurring in here. The path is being cleared. There are few road bumps still in at this point, but the most important thing is to follow through on everything he wants from the start at this point. But harmony is definitely coming back. But things will not take care of themselves. He will have to work for it. He will have to work for it because what they are telling him is stay in the flow, trust in the universe, but continue to do your work so this fortune time does not pass by before you can reap the harvest. So he will have to put in a lot of effort because the time is good. But again, guys, the time is good, meaning that he's getting all the blessings. He knows he can do it. But just with the time being good doesn't mean that he cannot stop, that he will stop working. He cannot stop working. He will have to put in a lot of work towards this good time to reap the harvest. There are few road bumps still in the way that will not take care of it by itself. He will have to make the effort, but in general, lot of peace and harmony is returning back into his life. Okay, so what they are telling him with this card in here is that he's coming into the good time. But, like I said, he will still have to work. He will still have to put in a lot of effort. He will still have to do a lot of work to reap the harvest that he is being inspired now to reap for the divine masculine. Okay, so I said, okay, what about the grand trine with the moonology card? And we get a win-win outcome is in forecast, full moon in Libra, which is talking about justice. And the next is don't let your past hold you back, South Node. So, what they are telling him is that the period of his own injustice that he had been facing with his old karmic situation, that is ending. That period is coming to an end where now he will have to put in the effort to move out of the old karmic situation, to move out of his old karmic cycle, his old karmic path, because the South Node is all about the old karmic cycle, okay, where there has been a lot of injustice, where now he will have to put in a lot of work in order to bring back the right course and follow the right path to his life, the North Node. Okay, so this is the shift, this is the movement that they're telling him that yes, injustice has happened wherever he has been, which is now he's entering a good phase. But, like I said, that doesn't mean he can stay put. He will still have to work because this road bump is that he can easily slip back into the old karmic cycle. So they are letting him know that don't let the past hold you back. You need to get out, face your true north, and move out of that injustice situation. And once he can do that, there is a win win forecast for him where he will get back everything in the right way. Because this good time of temperance and harmony, of balance, on everything that is coming back with the flow in his energy level, he will have to keep that flow on. He will have to keep pushing on that flow. He will have his good intentions. He needs to have his good intentions in place. You know, he will have to think right. He cannot be manipulative. He cannot be deceptive. He cannot apply those tactics anymore. Because if he does that, he will be easily pushed back into the old karmic cycle. This is actually a very, very, what I'm getting, the word I'm looking for. It's a very sensitive period that he's entering, where now the challenge is on him to work himself in the right way. One mistake, one thing that he does wrong, he can easily go back and slip back into the old cycle. So he has to be very, very careful with the divine masculine. For you guys too, if you all are listening to this reading here, you all will have to be very, very careful because you are entering a very, very good period in your life at this point. The grand trine blessing is 3 planets coming together to push you out of your old karmic cycle, but you will have to work very hard for your justice now, because you will have to understand that whatever has happened before, let that go. You have to learn to let things go. You will have to learn to, completely free yourself from your old karmic debts, whatever the old karmic past you have had. That could be with your childhood, it could be with your married life, it could be with your children, doesn't matter. But that cycle needs to be closed, and you will have to put in a lot of effort, divine masculine, in order to close that cycle, because there are few blocks in the road you still have. So you have to tread very, very carefully as you move past that cycle into your harmony, into your state of balance, into the place that you now want to be, attracting back whatever the good stuff that you had been waiting for a long time. Okay, this is the message from the astrological part of the story in here for you, divine masculine. Now, let's move into the next part of the story where we have the Akashic Record, again, Justice, card number 11, or the Ark of the Covenant in the reverse. Okay, in the reverse. Now, this card in the reverse, guys, talks about legal dealings, legal issues, a broken contract, or a failed legal transfer. Okay, so what they are telling you, that this is what is going to happen or has already happened. But be cautious with professionals who take care of your investment and other valuable things you have, because chances, like I said, you are moving into a good phase where there has been some kind of failed legal issue, legal transfer, legal dealings, anything to do with some kind of legality. But be very cautious with people who are handling your stuff. That could be your finance, could be your investment, anything. Because chances are that the people you're dealing with, divine masculine, they may not want to harm you. Your professionals may not want to harm you, but they could be they could be neglecting it. They could be in negligence of the story in here. Okay? Now, legal matters may seem there is an even more important reference to you karmically. Like I said, with that portion also. So with the card reversed, you have broken your contract with the person you have been married to, or you have had a karmic relationship with. And this contract broken has come from your higher self. From your higher self, you know. So perhaps you had avoided your karmic work before, and you had put aside your higher purpose before, because you had been too busy to deal with that, or it had been too hard for you. But you knowingly chosen to be directed by your fear and emotional need instead of knowing what is best for you. So in either event, they're telling you that you have separated yourself, you have woken up in the higher self, excuse me, and now it's time to renew your own covenant. Not just in word, but in actual deed, in actual action. So your life will simply not work until you do. Like I told you, there is still a lot of work, guys, that this man, the divine masculine, has to accomplish at this point in time, because a lot of things, like I said, a lot of things for him that he had avoided before. He had not paid attention, he had been busy, whatever had been going on with him, but he really did not work towards this. Which at this point, like I told you, this shift is coming because of this reason, because he's literally gearing himself up where he has completed a major cycle change in himself with his higher self and had broken a karmic contract that he had been holding within him or around him. Okay, now with this card, the next two cards we get, the cycle is the new beginning. So he is definitely moving for a new transition, a new beginning, a new change, because that card of injustice in the reverse, where he has broken off the contract. Now, this contract that he has broken off, at this point is on the higher end, in the higher self. Okay, but this contract, because it's broken off in the higher self, could also come down in the 3D with regards to his investment, with regards to his property that could now require the help of a professional that he might have to take at this point in order to divide and separate the assets that he has in the 3D. That also could be a part of the story, which is where the cycle or the new beginning is starting to occur, where his intention is playing it very safe. He knows he has to play it very safe, because look, the fortune card is marriage, because this commitment, that either he wants to give you divine feminine, or this commitment that he is now waiting to bring in his life with you. He knows that the roadblocks are still there, that has to be cleared, that has to be worked on very, very carefully for him to come to the place of this commitment with you. Could be a 3D, could be a spiritual commitment, a contract, a promise, a marriage, anything. But he wants to offer you this because, this could be an old karmic situation as well for him, or this could be the new contract that he is working towards, which I think it is the new beginning and the new contract. Okay, so this is not the old stuff, this is the new stuff that he wants to bring in. But at this point, where he wants to again reestablish the covenant, reestablish justice, rework on this on this issue here, where he has to get out of that south node and look into the true north for himself, which is where that injustice had happened in the old karmic situation, where the good time is now coming back with the new cycle, but he's playing it very safe at this moment, because he knows that the roadblocks will have to be cleared by him. By him. He will still have to put in a lot of effort in order to reach this place with you, divine feminine, where he can give you the ring, or make a proposal, or get into the partnership, or the contract, or the promise, or the commitment that he is looking for with you at this point in time, which is all happening in the 5D, guys. Okay, which is all happening in the 5D. So what they are telling him is, it's okay. It's okay that, things are moving, things are shifting, things are getting in order, but he has to be very careful, because there are roadblocks, there are red flags. So whatever that he now needs to do will have to be he's playing it very safe. He's intelligent, let me tell you that. He's not a dodo. He is intelligent. He knows his stuff. He knows that, this is the time, that sensitive time. I don't know if I'm being able to give you the right way to express myself, but it's a very sensitive time period at this point, where one slip, one mistake can shatter the whole thing. Okay, so he has to be very, very, very cautious, very focused, very careful, very cognizant of his words, of his actions, of his entire environment, of whatever that he's trying to recreate in the new cycle. He has to play it very safe. He cannot rush, because one particular slip, like I told you, can bring the whole thing down, can collapse the whole thing. So he has to be extremely careful here. Extremely careful because it's a very frail kind of an energy that is in the 5D, guys, where universe is putting him through that motion to see. It's a challenge in a way to see how he can really work through this frail situation where the balance of the good time and of his work and deed will have to come into place in harmony. Do I make sense? I hope I do. Okay, so this is the real time message that I'm getting, ladies and gentlemen. So, divine masculine, guys, be very, very cautious of your words and actions. Do not do anything hasty. Do not rush towards think twice, think thrice, maybe 4 times, 10 times, doesn't matter. Before you do, but you do anything, but take care of your legalities, of your investment, because somebody, like I said, could be not paying attention. The professional may not be paying attention to your story as such, so you have to be very careful. You have to be on top of those people because they are not doing you harm, but it is their negligence could cause you harm. That's what they are telling you, divine masculine. So if you have given some legal issues, legal notice, legal papers, excuse me, legal documents in the 3D, you have to be very, 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 very careful with the person you're working at this moment, being on top of him, to see, to monitor him, to closely monitor the person or the professional who is working for you at this point in time in the 3D. Okay, now the bottom of the deck for the astrological part is card number 11, Pluto transformation. Okay, which is a beautiful card of, again, a new change. Transformation, endings, beginnings, new ways, the end of the old, and the intensity is very high here with Pluto, okay, because Pluto is in the focus right now. That's where the change is happening. That's where the entire part of the story is going to change because Pluto is like the tower moment. It's the tower collapsing all the faulty structure in your life, a life from which you must rebuild from the debris that also includes your inspirations. Okay, because many things that the divine masculine may have relied upon for always being there may suddenly leave him or disappear. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Okay, it's the Six of Sword energy in the astrological part of the story, guys, but this is a huge part of the story. So they are telling you that this is the period that is coming, it's entering. In terms of your job and career, it may be a time to get another one because when the Pluto card, remember guys, when the Pluto card presents itself in a reading, you could also be infatuated with a hidden subject, mystery, or anything that really pulls you. That really pulls you. This could be a time when you're able to sense and feel the spirits around you. Anything can happen to anybody. Okay? It could be psychic attacks that you could get. It could be paranormal or occult stuff that you can feel, you can sense, you can understand. Your strength will be growing, and that is very important at this point in time to spiritually protect yourself from anything negative. That could be people, that could be anything, paranormal activities, anything that could happen. It's very important to take protection at this point in time with the Pluto card and the Tower card because whatever he had been working on or he had thought was permanent is going to disappear or has already disappeared for some people. Okay, so he has to rebuild, he has to rework, he has to work. Without working, he won't get it. That's what they're telling him. There is a lot of effort that is still needed on his end, at his end, for things to come back in the right way. Universe is giving him the doorway. Universe is letting him move. But, the blocks will have to be physically, mentally, spiritually cleared by the divine masculine. That is what they are telling him here. The bottom of the deck for the Moonology card is a new start is coming, new moon. See, this is where this entire story is changing. Is changing. So this is like I told you, and I'm repeating myself again for the benefit of those divine masculine who are tuning in into this reading, to know that you guys have to be very, very careful with everything that you are going to do from now onwards. Okay, the bottom of the deck for the Akashic is the One of Keys. Beautiful. It's the architect. It's a restart of your plans again. Okay, building a project, career, home, anything. Stepping into the position of power. And in order to do that, you must recognize your talent and strength as well as your authority in here. Because an opportunity beckons you that utilizes your skills perfectly. So feel the command you have over the great scope of the situation and take charge of it. Now, with this architect or One of Keys, guys, this is the card where there are two people involved in building a project, a man and a woman. My readings are not gender based, it could be anybody here, but there is a divine masculine, a divine feminine here. Okay, that's what I'm getting for this card. So both of you guys are coming to a place with this Pluto transformation, with everything to clear the roadblocks that lies ahead of you. So it could be that some of you guys could be in communication or getting back into your communication with the divine masculine to restart and rebuild a project that earlier had not been completed, to rework on the roadblocks together, to build something. And this is the divine masculine, that they are letting him know that you guys will have to take charge of this situation as you clear your blocks and enter a new stage of your life with your divine feminine to build something that really now needs your complete attention. The bottom of the deck for the oracle is the spirit, family, friends, and guides. So this spirit card is in here, guys, helping the divine masculine to play it safe for the new beginning that he is moving, and there is a good amount of people around him. Good amount of people around him. Could be his friends, could be his new tribe, anybody, but people who are good to him. People who will be actually, helping him through this process of change at this point in time to let him move forward. So it could be the legal advisor, like I said, it could be friends in general, it could be a tribe, anybody. It could be even spiritual connection that he might have with a few people in and around him, but people who have good intentions for him. People who will, take care of his spiritual health and wealth in order to push him and move him in the right direction. So he definitely is being blessed, people. He is definitely being blessed with a lot of things that is occurring at this point in time. The bottom of the deck for the fortune card is imprisonment. See, so this is the block. He is still imprisoned. This is where he needs to work and play it very safe for the new beginning. Because if this is like, It could be a self-sabotage. It could be a physical imprisonment that somebody is holding him, entrapped in a situation. It could be anything for anybody. But this is the block. That is the block to the new beginning. That is the block to the new marriage, the new promise, the new contract, where he knows that he will have to play it very safe. And this is possibly why the universe is holding or helping him with people, with friends, with guides, with extended family members, anybody who is coming in here to guide him through this block and help him to move from this block. It could be anything for anybody. Or, like I said, it could be counseling. It could be that he is taking extra counseling from those around him. He could be paying money to take extra counseling. It could be anything for anybody. But whatever that he is doing, guys, there are good stuff happening around him. People who are for him. People who want to see him happy. People who want to now believe that he is a deserving person and he deserves the best for himself. So they are pushing him towards that, and he's getting a lot of help. Where the temperance is also coming in, the grand trine blessing, where the change is occurring with Pluto transformation, because, at one end, what I'm also getting, at one end, a lot of things are collapsing. On the other hand, a lot of things are balancing out. Okay, so like I said, this is the time. This is that, the seesaw. The balance has to be very perfect between what is collapsing and what is being stabilized or becoming harmonious. So this is the time where the divine masculine will have to be absolutely on the best foot forward. Okay, one misleading stuff, like I said, one misleading stuff can cause the entire structure to tumble. So he has to be very, 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 very careful. That's what I have to say here. Okay. Now you see the bunch of cards. These are the bunch of questions I have from my spirit I've asked, and will clarify these cards. It's already been done, but I'm going to channel it with you, divine feminine and divine masculine, in the real time for us to know the story in here at this point. But in the 5D, guys, okay, lot of things are going on. You may know about it, you may not know about it, but yes, this entire shift, entire situation is changing. All right, let's move and delve into the actual part of the story. The first question I had for my spirit was his subconscious self. During the portion in time, we have taken the energy from the 5th to the 15th of November 2020. What kind of subconscious energy or shadow energy is that he is carrying within him or will be carrying? Okay, the first card out is feeling alone, card number 5. It's like the card of the 5 of Pentacles energy. He's miserable without you guys. In the shadow side, he feels lonely, he feels dejected without you. He's completely in a standstill position with his own self. He doesn't, he has the lantern with him. He wants to move forward. But, that energy, the shadow energy is like, I only hope, I only wish that my divine feminine was there with me. Okay, he's missing you guys terribly. That's all I can say. He's missing you guys terribly because he knows that even you are incomplete without him, and he is incomplete without you. So I said, okay, what about the card of feeling alone? He gets communication. So in the shadow side, he wants to talk to you. He really wants to talk to you. He wants to communicate everything, but because, see, the thing is, you guys share a different kind of mental wavelength. Let's put it like that. Okay, which is not what he's getting from anybody. Really. I mean, other people are there, friends, and whoever is there, they're coming to help him. It's fine. They're good people. But that kind of mental wavelength that you guys have, or that kind of mental bonding where, you know, that particular thing is something he's missing. Your presence is missing. Your communication with him, your communication, his communication with him, and between the two of you is missing. So, in the shadow energy, guys, he really wants to talk to you. So, I said, okay, what about the communication insecurity? See, because whatever insecurity he has within him, still in the shadow end, he really wants to tell you. He wants to feel enlightened. He wants that motivation from you because his heart is still very insecure in the shadow end. Because you remember, I said it's a frail time right now. It's that energy of collapse and rebuild which is going on together. So he is very insecure in the heart space. Excuse me. And that is something he wants to communicate with you. So I said, okay, what about the insecurity, the fool? He wants to tell you that he wants to take that leap of faith. He wants to change everything between the two of you. He wants to make things all good. He wants to start fresh. But he's still very much insecure about that story because he's not being able to tell you that. In the shadow side, there could be a telepathic conversation between the two of you, but in the real world, he is still feeling very insecure about the situation, or whether he can really tell you this, or whether he can really communicate this to you. And he's feeling very lonely without you. But he really wants to share this insecurity and tell you that he wants to start everything fresh. So hold on for me. Wait for me. I'm starting everything fresh, but he still doesn't know if he can do that. So I said, okay, what about the Fool card? And he's got self-aware, harmonious, radiant, equilibrium. So that is in the shadow end. He's bringing back his energy in the right way. He's taking that leap of faith, guys. He's taking that leap of faith towards his radiance, towards his new harvest, towards his equilibrium. From that insecure side, from that insecurity that he wanted to communicate, and tell you now that don't be insecure. It also could be that, okay, this is also what I'm getting, guys, that he is lonely. He knows you are lonely. He wants to tell you that wait, okay, wait for me. Okay, don't feel insecure. It also could be that message in the shadow side. He wants to tell you through his telepathic conversation that I'm now getting ready to take that leap of faith towards this equilibrium. Okay, so this could also translate into a message for you too, Divine Feminine. It could go either ways, but definitely the shadow energy for me is now telling me that he is trying to communicate with you telepathically, guys. Okay, about the insecurities that you might be having towards this connection. Because he knows you are feeling insecure. He knows you are not feeling all that great about the story. So he's trying to tell you, wait for me. I'm coming back in the right way. Okay, I'm coming back. I'm just taking my time to take that leap of faith. I'm playing it very safe towards this new beginning where we both together can create this beautiful harvest of a new start, of a new story, of a new life path in here. So this shadow energy is more towards you guys, Divine Feminine. It's more towards you because he's not telling you that in words right now, but he's telling you through his telepathic conversation because he knows that in your heart space you are not very sure about what he's doing right now or how he is doing things right now. So this could be a message from my spirit to you, Divine Feminine, from the Divine Masculine, from his shadow side in here. Is also more so, I'm getting more so, yes. Now, the next question I have had was his conscious energy. His conscious energy, what is that talking about? Card number 10, which is the wheel or the flow. The temperance is the flow too, remember? Which is talking about him getting back his strength again in the conscious life, in the conscious energy level, where he's letting go of the negative ideas, he's letting go of the negative feelings, he's letting go of the negative stories, the negative past, the negative situations. So, in the conscious side, he's really working towards bringing back his temperance, towards becoming more radiant, towards becoming more cool, collective, more, that kind of an energy that nobody can walk over him, okay, where he knows how to manage his own equilibrium, where he knows how he can do things in the right way. Okay, so this is the energy in the conscious self that he's working, which is the card number 10 talks about the wheel, that he's trying to change his own wheel of fortune now. In the conscious self, from the subconscious too, that he is working for himself. So I said, okay, what about the flow? And the next two cards, unbelievable that he gets, or I was completely shocked, is karmic partner and barrier. So you see, this, you cannot make it up. You cannot make it up. So what is happening to him, guys, is in the subconscious, he's letting you know, okay, from the subconscious energy, divine feminine, he's letting you know, wait for me. Okay, you have held on for me for a long time. Just wait for me a little bit more. So, in the conscious energy, this is what that negative energy of the karmic partner and the barrier, which is the imprisonment I told you about, which is where he is working, playing it very safe, very, very carefully to move out of this situation here. So, he is working with his emotions, maybe his finances, his investment. He is giving it a very, very energetic, complete energetic vibration, okay, where his emotion is what he is tempering. His own physical self that may have gone through a lot of pain and suffering and sorrow is also what he is tempering with regards to the karmic partner and the barrier that had kept his conscious self tied up for a long time. So I said, okay, what about the karmic partner and barrier? He gets guilt. So he's trying to wash away the old guilt. Like I told you, he's tempering back his conscious self, guys, and he is getting rid of the old guilt that had been sitting with regards to the story, where he had not done things right or by right with you. Okay, because of this karmic partner and barrier, this is the energy, the conscious self, people, that he's trying to negate now. He's trying to wash away. It's like taking a shower. Excuse me. It's like taking a new shower for yourself in the energetic vibrations of life. Okay, because, the guilt is something with regards to the karmic partner, the barrier, and the guilt. This is the guilt. This is the guilt that he has been holding in his life, which is what in the conscious side he's letting go. So I said, okay, what about the guilt? He's got the Four of Wands. So this is that Four of Wands, people. Okay, this is the Four of Wands energy where there has been a lot of pain, domestic conflict, domestic situation, where there has been a lot of guilt, a lot of barrier with this karmic situation here that he could not earlier move out of. Really, he could not, because he had a lot of guilt and he did not pay attention to the Ark of the Covenant. Remember, I said he did not pay attention. He had been too busy doing his own stuff. But now the time has come that he is having to pay attention, because there has been a lot of guilt sitting in that place of his residence because of this imprisonment of the barrier that he could not move out of this place. So I said, okay, what about the Four of Wands? Then he gets the Sun. That's the divine masculine. So he's coming back into life. He's coming back into life from all that state, guys. That's what I told you. That his conscious self is moving past the barrier. His conscious self is rising. His vibration is becoming so much more better. His vibration is becoming so much more harmonious that now the energy of the sun, the power, the climax of him being the divine masculine, his radiance, his success, his vigor, his strength, it's all coming back. The energy is something from all that imprisonment and the barrier and the karmic situation and the guilt and everything. He's slowly crossing that phase through. He's slowly moving out of that phase. Because, you know why? Because he is changing his own story in here. As simple as that. Now, my next question in here, guys, is the action in the 3D. Okay, we have understood the subconscious and the conscious. What is the action? What is the action in the 3D that is happening for him, or that he is making things happen? The first card out is heal. That is a star card, 17. There is a lot of healing. With the temperance, like I said, the action is more spiritually oriented now. Lot of healing within him. That's what I said. He's slowly getting out of that guilt, of that barrier, of that karmic situation to heal himself. Because remember, this transformation, the collapse and the rebuild is happening at the same time, So he has to be healed. He has to be balanced in order for him to make things happen in the right way in the physical world. So he's taking his time to heal, to rejuvenate himself, to recharge his battery with the energy of the sun. He's coming back into life with the power of healing. So I said, okay, what about the heal? He gets the observer because he has, he had questions before that. Now he is healing. He had questions before of how he can do things. He had been suspended. He had been in the hangman energy that now is giving him the answer in the 3D, telling him to move out of the old story and restart a new beginning. So he had a lot of questions about how to heal this situation, which is where he's getting his answer for himself. He's learning, he's getting his enlightenment to heal himself, to rejuvenate his own faith and destiny now, to bring back the attraction from the universe in order to bring back his health, his wealth, and his vitality. So I said, okay, what about the observer? He gets prayer. He is definitely into a lot of spiritual activity in the 3D, guys. Okay, because he needs to do a lot of spiritual work. At this point in the 3D, for him to move in the right direction. So he is engaging himself in a lot of meditation, lot of prayer, lot of time, lot of focus for his own self. So I said, okay, what about the prayer? Ace of Wands. This is the new divine inspiration. This is giving him the new divine creative spark. As he is healing, as he is transforming, as he is moving out, as he is rejuvenating, as he is taking time to observe his own life situation, as he's comparing his past and his present and becoming, and coming into the future, he's doing a lot of meditative work. He could be even into classes, like I said. He could be in touch with a spiritual guru. He could be working with people who are in that kind of a mindset. People who love meditation, people who are praying, people who are into a lot of spiritual activity that is giving him that divine spark of creative inspiration within him that is making him more aware of what he now needs to do. Where his mind had been closed before, his third eye chakra is opening up, where he is able to visualize and see things in the right perspective now, in a different perspective. Because earlier he probably had been working with only one perspective in mind, from where he is coming to the point of saying to himself, through all this, through all this work that he's doing in the 3D, that yes, it's possible to do things in the right way if I look at the whole situation from a different perspective. And that is exactly what is happening. So I said, okay, what about the Ace of Wands? And here comes the Divine Masculine. So this is the activity. This is the story that he is engaging himself in. So I said, okay, what about the man? The Celtic knot, or the unconditional love, the eternal love. This is what he is bringing back. Because, the spiritual work, this work that he's doing in the 3D, whether you know of it, you don't know of it, it's a different story, guys. But he's involved himself with a lot of spiritual activities, spiritual surrounding towards this unconditional love, this divine union. That is the perspective that yes, it is possible. It is not impossible. There are few bumps on the road, there are few blocks on the road, but if I look at things in a different light, in a different way, it is definitely a possibility for this divine union or this unconditional love to happen. So I said, okay, what about the Celtic knot? We get the stork, or the transformation, the change. This is where the change is happening in the 3D. A very, very deep onset of spiritual change within him, guys. A very deep onset of spiritual change, of a balance, of a renovation, of a new birth, of a renewal, everything that is coming back into his life in the right way. It's all because of the hangman energy, where this observation, or the observer is looking at the situation in a very practical way now, in a very different way, and is telling himself that yes, if I work myself, there is a lot of work to be done. But if I work myself in the right way, I can definitely create this change. So I said, okay, what about the transformation, rider, messenger, movement? This is giving him that green signal, guys. This energy in the actual 3D is making him move, is bringing back that inspiration, the good news that you can do it. Come on, you can do it. Being the universe is the cheerleader for him now. Okay, they're telling him, yes, you can do it. Come on, go on. Look at things from a different perspective. He's suspended right now. He is hanging upside down. But what is happening within that hanging? Lot of shadow work, lot of spiritual work, lot of the dark night of the soul, lot of new perspective that is growing within him, lot of the change of new transformation, lot of new ideas that is coming back within himself. That in turn is giving him the green light to move forward. So it's a beautiful physical 3D energy that he's getting involved in, or is involved in at this point, and moving forward as well. Now the next question in here, guys, that I have for my spirit is, what is he attracting back? Okay, now the first card I get, the first card I get is the 4, or opportunity beckons. Now this is like the 4 of Cups energy. Okay, so where there has been a lot of disappointment, emotional problems, missed opportunities, anything in life that earlier he could not get, he's trying to attract everything back in his life. With card number 4, it's the 4 of Cups energy. He knows he has lost it. He knows it was his fault. He knows that he did not do things right. So be it. But now I can bring things back. And that is exactly what that story is that is happening, is what is he attracting back? the goodness from the universe. So I said, okay, what about the opportunity beckons? He's got material world and winter, where he had been completely left out in the cold in the physical world because of the missed opportunity, is what he is now trying to reattract back in the right way to blossom, to bring back things back into harmony, to bring back the right story, to bring back that right energy. And see, in that 3D energy level, this is, he knows the story that he has to attract back the right things. That is the spiritual work. That is the work that he's doing in the physical 3D, where what he's trying to attract back is the right energy level. Okay, so I said, okay, what about the material and winter? He gets grief. He knows there is a lot of missed opportunity that has caused a lot of emotional upheaval and grief with you, divine feminine. He knows this, he could not attract this back before because he was in a lot of pain. He was in a lot of grief. He was in a lot of sorrow. So he could not bring it all back. So I said, okay, what about the grief? Justice. See, this is what he's attracting back. He is attracting back the Ark of the Covenant in the reverse to turn the card upside down. To reverse the card and flip it in the upright, where it has been an upside down condition. He now wants his karma to serve him the justice, or he's serving his justice to his own karma now. From all the guilt, from all the missed opportunity, from all the grief, from all the sorrow of being left out in the cold, feeling very cold. Winter is a very dreadful time where people shrink, things shrink, environment goes through a lot of change. That environment in the 3D is slowly changing, which is what he's attracting back for himself, is his actual karma that he now needs to serve to you in the twin flame and to himself. So I said, okay, what about the justice? You get the bouquet. Look, this is what he's attracting back. His creativity, his harmony, his happiness, his contentment, his want to reconcile in this love situation. Whatever that he had missed before, whatever that went out of his life before, guys, he's coming back to that story because he really wants to make things happen in the right way now. He really wants to bring back the entire story in the right way now. So this is the story. So in the first part, guys, this is the entire picture of the divine masculine. I hope you guys know the story from these set of cards in here. Now the next set of cards I've got is the heart, the mind, and the environment. Okay, we are going to check all the three together. So I said, okay, talk to me about the heart in here. The heart talks about the solar plexus chakra, okay, which is card number 3, which is more like the Empress energy. Now, this energy center, is where your emotions and feelings are recorded. And this chakra, the solar plexus chakra, is associated with your inner feeling, which is where the major psychic reception area of your life is. What you want to do, where you can attend workshops to focus back on your power of empowerment, will help you and harmonize this area. This is what I'm getting, guys, that he could be involved in a lot of this kind of yoga, workshops, kind of activities to balance back his own life in general. Now, with the solar plexus chakra showing up in the heart area, it says, I can. Okay, this is where the internal feeling of his situation is coming, where he is now telling himself, I can do it. I can bring things back to normal in the heart. So I said, okay, what about the solar plexus chakra? He gets guide. So you see, there is a physical, in the 3D, there could be somebody who is guiding him. Because remember, he's got family, friends, and guides as a spirit card, or it could be an internal guidance, or it could be an external guidance. But there is some kind of a guidance in here for his heart condition. So I said, okay, what about the guide? He's got renewal. Okay, this is what is renewing his heart energy. This is where his solar plexus chakra is coming to the point of saying, I can. There is an entire renewal of his heart energy. I said, okay, what about the renewal? He gets the Eight of Wands. He wants to move. He wants to communicate. He wants to take action with you, Divine Feminine, on this journey, because his heart is completely changing. So I said, okay, what about the Eight of Wands? He's got dolphins, which is harmony, which is peace, which is effective communication, where both of you guys can be very, very playful, humorous with one another, have a fun time, collaboration, bringing back joy in whatever communication, in words and actions that you now perform, and where he is now becoming more heart-centered towards the story, because there is a divine guidance in here, or like I said, it could be a guidance. Of course, it's a divine guidance. Of course, a divine guidance through family, friends, relatives, anybody, which is renewing him completely, which is bringing back the energy for him to move very quickly towards this energy where he wants to talk to you, when he wants to have that fun time, when his heart feels more open, more at peace with the collaboration between the two of you, with soft-hearted conversations that he now wants to carry out with you, Divine Feminine. Next, we move into the mind space. So the first card out, guys, is daydreams and decisions and joy and stability. He's got two cards. I've taken the two cards because my spirit wanted to give it to me. So in the mind, guys, he's dreaming of the time. He's manifesting back his harmony. He's manifesting back his stability with card number 4. He's manifesting back his joy. He is daydreaming. He's taking decisions. He's choosing his options very carefully. He is playing it very safe in the mind space to make things happen with that stability factor that in turn is going to bring back the joy in his life. So in the mind space in here. So I said, okay, what about this? He's got big dreams. There are a lot of dreams that he has, guys, that he is now starting to work on in the mind area. He has a lot of dreams that he wants to now manifest. Big dreams with you, Divine Feminine, where he needs his stability, when he needs to work through very carefully in the right way to manifest the big dream, to manifest that situation. So I said, okay, what about the big dream? Recovery. To recover this connection completely. To bring back stability in this twin flame connection between the two of you. Okay, that is the mind. That he now needs to recover himself quickly. That in turn will recover you, Divine Feminine. That in turn will recover this entire connection rightly, or in the correct way. So I said, okay, what about the recovery? Queen of Cups. And he's got the Page of Cups. Look, this is where he wants the unconditional love. The Queen of Cups is you. This is the recovery. Now again, this also could be a message that because you are still there with him, guys, that unconditional love is still with him in the mind. He knows you love him unconditionally, and now he's trying to surprise you with something. It could be an apology, it could be a new story that he's dreaming, it could be a new dream that he's manifesting that will completely surprise you, because he knows you love him unconditionally and he wants to give back that unconditional love to you and recover this connection in the right way, is the mind story here. Okay, is the mind story. So I said, okay, what about this? He's got house, home, belonging, comfort, safety. He wants to build a house with you. He wants a permanent place of residence. Okay, this is the Page of Cups. He's trying to work on that emotional creativity, where he can bring together this comfort, that stability. That is his dream. Maybe he is manifesting the dream in his mind now, not in the reality, but he is planning it all. He's making that thing happen in his mind. He's going through that change. So I said, okay, what about the house? Metamorphosis, be open to embrace. So he is embracing this change that he now needs to become more open minded. It's an evolution, excuse me, it's an evolution of the soul. It's a reinvention of himself. That's the recovery that he now needs to have a permanent place of residence with his divine feminine who loves him unconditionally in the mind space. And that is the dream. That is the dream he is manifesting in the mind, guys. So beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, so this is the story in the mind space. Now let's move into the environment in here. Okay, what is now we know the heart, that he wants to come to you quickly, he wants to communicate with you, he wants to have that playfulness to take action, both you guys becoming the child or getting back the childlike qualities, where in the mind he is planning on surprising you, he's planning on this new change of his home residence, the metamorphosis that he's now welcoming back, that he now needs a change with his divine feminine who loves him unconditionally, who cares for him unconditionally, and he has to manifest that big dream in order to surprise her. So in the mind, the joy and stability factor is working very, very closely with one another to stabilize himself in the mind so that he can move forward in the 3D when the time comes to make this all happen. Okay, now the environment is release. 13, card number 13, or death. So there is in the environment a whole phase of transformation here. Remember, the environment is completely changing. Like, remember this Pluto tower moment as well, transformation. So whatever he thought he had forever is all changing in the environment. His family situation, his own situation, his career, his job, his family tribe that he earlier had, everything is undergoing a change. New things are happening, new releases are coming into effect, new stuff is in transition. There is an end and beginning in the environment that is going on with the divine masculine. Now, okay, and with release, he's got nurture, or card number 3, which is the Empress energy. This is helping him to rebuild himself with the change that is happening in the environment, guys. This is actually helping him, people, to rebuild back because he's able to release the old. He's able to move out of the old collapsed area. He's able to walk back into his old and is into his own energy in order to give birth in love, in fertility, to bring back that nourishment, to become independent in order to, live in the right way, getting back the right quality of life in for himself, in the environment. So I said, okay, what about this? He's got conclusion, see, because he's ending a lot of things. Lot of things that earlier has not served him, but because of that fear situation, guys, he was not able to release it before, which is where that release is happening now after this period of the blue moon. I said, okay, what about the conclusion, completion? He's got conclusion and completion. So in the environment, guys, lot of this old karmic path is clearing out, is moving out, is getting out of his way. New things are cropping up. New fertility is coming up. New harvest is building up. New situation is coming back into the 3D. in the environment. Okay, so I said, okay, what about the completion? He's got the Nine of Swords and he's got the Page of Wand, which is where his worry was, where the shame was, where the guilt was, where the pain was. He's letting all that grow. He's letting all that go. He's becoming so carefree. He's becoming adventurous. He's getting back that passion in the environment because, I'll tell you why, because of the tower, where the old edifice, even within himself, within his body, where he might have been feeling very, very fearful, where his body was reacting to a lot of negativity. He's letting that go. He's bringing back a new vibration from the 3D, from the environment, which is making him become again like the Page of Wand energy, where he is now able to understand that it's time. There are bumps in the road, but he's ready to face the challenge. This is the temperance. Remember, I talked about there is bumps in the road, but he's ready to move forward. The Knight of Wands is a very, very quick, passionate energy. Okay, doesn't care about all challenges, doesn't care about all problems. For this person with the Page of Wand energy, I can make it happen. I can do it. So environment is pushing him towards that. Environment is giving him that push. Now is the time. I said, okay, what about the story? Judgment. There is a complete rebirth, transformation in the environment that is happening with the divine masculine going forward from now onwards. His entire environment is completely changing, people. Completely changing. I mean, there are no two ways about it in here. Okay, it's all going through a big time change at this point in here. Now, my next question was, I'm sorry this reading is getting a little bit long, but that's how I channel the energy so that you know the real stuff in here. The lesson, okay? What about the lesson that he has learned for this amount of time? The first card out, guys, or rather I've got two cards, is Rest and Reconsider, which is the Hermit energy, and then the intuitive energy of the High Priestess tells him, spread your wings. So this is the lesson. His resting period has occurred. He has known the truth. Now it's time for him to move forward. This is the lesson. This is the topic. This is the story he is getting back as the lesson. After he has done his hermit work, he knows the truth. He knows what has happened with his life. He knows what has happened to him. Whatever has happened in this connection, everything. He knows everything. And now his intuitive self is permitting him to spread the wings and move out in the right direction towards his own true north. Okay, so I said, okay, what about this? He gets the mask. Okay, this is where he has gone through the entire process of all the deception, of all the problems, of all the negativity, of all the hardships, of the mask he had been wearing. I said, okay, what about the mask? Return. This is where he's coming back to life. He's letting go of the mask. He's done his hermit energy. He's gone down deep in the soul. He has looked at himself to reorganize himself. This is the lesson he has learned, that he now needs to reorganize himself to return back in the right way towards his soulmate energy here, towards the twin flame, the soulmate energy, to make that offer that he had been holding. He had been playing a very deceitful game. And this is the hermit energy has taught him a big lesson, that this is not going to work anymore. No, it cannot go on. It's time to move, make that offer. The soulmate energy is very much there for you till now. So go ahead and do what you have to do now. Okay, the next card out is mysticism. Now this card of mysticism, guys, is talking about somebody who knows the inner truth, who has seen through everything, who knows that, whatever they had been doing before and what is now going to happen, They know because, the next card is gossip. So this is where it could be a lesson in the way that somebody he knows is waiting to talk about this. He knows this. This is a lesson he learned, and this is probably why he could not move forward, because he was scared of this person here who is, in a very hidden kind of a veiled form where you cannot see the face. But this person has got two sides, which is, there is a facade here where this person is hiding things under cover, and this person is waiting to talk about the situation. This is a lesson he has learned, that this is the negative block. This is somebody here who can gossip, gossip. It's a lesson. It's a lesson. That's why he was wearing a mask, because he was scared of this person, whoever it is in his life, that if I move with my soulmate, with my twin flame, this person will talk, this person will gossip, and that will prevent me from moving forward. And he knows that story, and this is where the hermit energy is now telling him, it's all right. You have done your work, you can return, and all this BS can go for a toss. The next card out is the Three of Swords. See, this kind of a situation here that he could not move had created the Three of Swords energy. That was the pain here. This was where his pain, because he could not move because he was scared of this gossip by this person or a group of people, whoever it is, were waiting to talk about the situation. And that created a lot of, pain in his own life as well, where he had to wear the mask, which is where he's reorganizing himself to return back in the right way because of the lesson that he has learned from all this painful area. So I said, okay, what about the Three of Swords? He gets the Eight of Pentacles. He's working towards this energy, guys, from the very basic stuff. He's learning to pick himself up. He's very focused. He's very dedicated. He's very, very energetic in resolving this issue and returning back to the soulmate twin flame connection in the right way that he now has to work for. The next card out is a ship or going to places. So I said, okay, what about this ship? And then he gets island. He has not been able to move. He has been very lonely, guys. This is also a lesson. He has been caught in that isolation. He has not been able to move because of all this gossip, of all this hidden facts, of people who were working behind him, of people who were waiting to gossip about the situation. This stopped him from moving, where he got stuck in a very isolated place, with the Milky Way and the network, where he was not able to expose the situation of the twin flame connection to people, nor was he able to talk about this connection. This is a lesson from where the bridge or communication or the integration is happening, where he's going to let others know about you, or knowing, or letting you know that, yes, this is the lesson I've learned, which is where I have to bridge this entire thing, overcome all the barriers, compromise with the old situation, and bring back the harmony in the situation for me to return back to you, divine feminine, in the right way, is the lesson he has learned very, very well, guys. Okay. Now, my last question is, what does he think? What is the energy that is with him when he thinks about you, divine feminine? Okay, very, very specific. The first card out is awaiting result, and then card number 5, teach. Now, over here, when he thinks about you, he thinks about you as a person who has already invested earlier, has already done their work, and is now ready to let the spiritual guidance flow through to you and to others. You are like a teacher, divine feminine, to him. You are that spiritual master. You have that right to let others know about your spiritual self. Okay, because you have already done the result, you have already done the work. Okay, you have already completed that Seven of Pentacle energy here. You have already invested your time in understanding your spiritual path. You are now the leader of the spiritual world. Okay, so when he thinks about you, he looks at you like the Hierophant. Okay, he knows that you have all the secrets. He knows that you can unlock because you are wise. He knows that you have that wisdom within you. You know, you have that strength. Your morality, your tradition, your values, your system is all in the place because you have already invested your time in that energy to come to that level of understanding. So, this is how he looks at you. So, I said, okay, what about that? Expansion. See, this is when he looks at you, Divine Feminine, he too is expanding himself, learning from you how to move past the barriers. You are his guide, his philosopher, his friend, and his teacher. That is helping him to expand his own life. I said, okay, what about that? Union. This is where he wants the sacred union with you. When he looks at you, when he thinks about you, he really wants to expand this connection with you and bring it to the spot of sacred union. I said, okay, what about the union? He's got the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. This is where he is stuck. He's trying to unblock himself from that old situation when he thinks about you because he doesn't know if you will receive him in the right way because of the earlier problems. You know, so he is kind of guarded about the situation. He's still not talking to you because he has to learn to unblock his own self. I'll get out of that boundary area, you know, of fear and problems in his own self to come to you in the right way. He's still very skeptical if whether at all, if he makes this offer, whether you're ready to take that, or whether you will block him, or, you know, from moving forward because of all the past situation where you probably cannot trust him, or you might want to take your time to understand the situation before you can actually eventually trust his intentions. So he's working on the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands because, you know, he wants this entire thing, but he's still not sure if you can be a part of that in the moment as of now. Okay, he's trying to work through his stability with his money, with his resources. He's trying to gain back his footing in the right way. He's trying to bring back that stability before he can get into the union kind of an energy as well. But, you know, it's taking him a little bit of a time as well as he's expanding himself, learning from you. You are the guide, like I said, you are the philosopher, you are the guide, you are the master who is teaching him everything at this point in time. So I said, okay, what about that? This energy from you is catching up with him. Where it's a moose, where his attitude is everything. He's learning from you. He's becoming independent. He's becoming powerful. He's becoming very imposing, very calm, very cool, and very collected. You know, he's picking up that energy from you, Divine Feminine. He has looked at your empowerment. He knows how empowered you are. So he is kind of melting himself or blending himself into that energy from you. And then the next card is Broom, where he's sweeping away the old when everything else is being cleared in order for him to come back in the right place. Like you, he wants to match you. He wants to be exactly like you, empowered, stern, you know, but at the same time, cool, calm, you know, independent, where he can enjoy everything, where you are spending your time alone as well for some of you, you know, with your attitude, which you're projecting to the world, where you're bringing in your Nine of Pentacles energy, where you're feeling happy with whatever you have and sweeping away the rest of all the BS that gets collected as junk in people's places, in other places. Okay, so this is how he looks at you guys. Now, the bottom of the deck for this is the sacral chakra, which is beautiful, which is beautiful. Okay, the bottom of the deck is the sacral chakra, which is the card number 2, or it's that intuitive kind of an energy, with the sacral chakra. Is I want. I want everything right now. Okay, that's the bottom. That's the bottom. It's a second chakra, which is located 2 fingers below your navel and relates to emotions, desires, creativity, and sexuality. That all he wants from you guys. From you. Okay, the bottom of the deck for this oracle is pride and ego. So he knows what was the problem. He knows the problem was his pride and ego. The bottom of the deck for this is faith, from where he's turning back, he's bringing back his own faith from whatever the pride and ego he had in the wrong way. And the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Cups. He's leaving the unwanted situation. He's reorganizing himself. He's reevaluating himself. He's reworking on himself in the right way, divine feminine. And this is the energy check. But before I wind up, guys, let me thank all my divine feminines for the beautiful films and that you have talked about in my last reading, where most of you have come up and told me, suggested a couple of names towards beautiful films that I still haven't watched. But as I do, as I get into that, I will definitely keep you informed about it. But thank you so much, everybody in here, divine masculine, divine feminine. Enjoy this reading until we meet again after the 15th for another check towards this energy, where possibly I might end up doing the energies for both of you or just the energy of the divine masculine. We will decide that at a later date. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless you. Khuda Hafiz. Namaste. And Salam Alaikum. Thank you.